Hey everyone, Kim Phillpotts here with a very quick Xamarin University Lightning lecture on a new feature which is rolled out in Visual Studio 15.6, and that's the ability to wirelessly deploy and debug to an iOS or tvOS device. So why is this cool? Well, if you're a Windows developer, you no longer have to have that Mac sitting next to you on the desk so that you can reach the device at the end of a cable. And if you're a Mac developer, perhaps you're running out of valuable USB ports, so maybe you can free one up as well. So the process of actually getting this to work is nice and straightforward. Let me walk you through the process. Now, the very first step is going to be to pair up your devices with Xcode on the Mac. So let's flick over to the Mac and have a look at the process for both iOS and tvOS. You should only have to do this pairing process once, but the first thing we need to do is launch up Xcode. And now from within the Windows menu, go ahead and select Devices and Simulators. Then we'll go ahead, we'll plug in our iPhone with a USB cable, give it a moment to do its thing. Now, if you haven't done this before, it'll show a prompt on your device asking you if you want to trust the computer. And of course you do. So go ahead and hit Trust, and you'll probably have to enter your PIN on your device as well. Now, all we have to do is go ahead and click this checkbox labeled Connect via Network. We go ahead and give this a moment, and if all's going well, a little world icon appears to indicate you've connected via your network. So that's important. If you don't have that world icon, then it hasn't connected via the network, which means when you unplug your device, it will just disconnect. So if you do have any troubles connecting, the key recommendations are: first, make sure that the computer and the iOS device are on the same network. You could try unpairing the device and pairing it again. I've also found that an approach that can work is connecting your device to your computer via Bluetooth initially, and Xcode seems to work out its network connection. But essentially, once you've got that all sorted, you can now go ahead, unplug your device, and you're good to go. Whilst we're here, let's have a look at setting up tvOS for wireless network deployment. First, to make your tvOS device visible from within Xcode, you need to go to your Apple TV, go into your settings, remotes and devices, and then remote app and devices. So if we give this a second, your tvOS device should appear in your list here. Select it on the left-hand side, and then go ahead and click the pair button. This will show a code on your Apple TV, which we need to go and enter into Xcode. So once we've done that, we can now click the Connect button. So give it a moment while it does its magic. And we're good to go. So now we have both devices set up. So let's flick over to our Windows machine and test this out. Okay, I'm over in Visual Studio on a Windows machine. I've just got a super simple application loaded up, which just allows me to click a button. As for my iPhone, I have this completely disconnected from my Mac, and I'm just going to share the screen via screen mirroring to Air Server on my PC so you can see what's happening. I've got my configuration set to iPhone deployment, and over in the list of devices, you can see it's found my iPhone, and notice it shows as connected via network. Incidentally, because we're deploying to a real device, you need to make sure you have provisioning for the device set up as well. So if we go and run this, you'll notice that it deploys wirelessly. And I can click a few buttons. If I set a breakpoint in my view controller, I can also debug wirelessly. So that's pretty awesome. I've also got a tvOS project, which functionally is just the same as my iOS project. So very simple. And if I try running it, again, we select the Apple TV from the list, and it shows it'll be deployed across the network. So this will just take a moment to deploy. And we're up and running. And of course, I can set breakpoints in here and do debugging over the network as well. So there you have it. Now we can deploy to iOS and tvOS devices across the network and do away with the wires. Super useful if you're working from a Windows machine or you just don't want to always be at the end of a USB cable. So before I sign off, just some resources. First, we have a short link to the docs.microsoft.com documentation for setting up wireless deployment. The other important thing is that you'll need to ensure you have your devices correctly provisioned. So go and have a look at the excellent documentation on that as well. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in contact, and hopefully I'll see you in a class at Xamarin University. See you next time.